All right, we are in episode 15 of the podcast, and we are live streaming for the first time.
Yeah,
Thanks to
live.
thanks to Infidel's idea back. Oh, let me turn off that elevator music. Thanks to Infidel's suggestion back in episode 2. He reminded me, so yeah, I guess now also that would have been an issue back then because I was working off of my oh so wonderful laptop. If we forgot about that. So now I have my computer, which I actually have the power to do all this at once. So
now we get to make live accidents and fail.
Yeah, so like we promised, we're gonna talk about the new Xbox, which is called Xbox One. They unveiled it yesterday at the lovely Xbox tent on the Redmond campus over there, where Microsoft does all their fun stuff. And we're basically going to run through a lot of the announcements. I at least wanted to do that. I'll be playing a lot of trailers because we're doing the live stream, so you guys will be able to watch while we're talking and see what we're talking about. Obviously, like usual, the articles will be posted with the show notes and all that. So fun stuff. And we got some Battlefield 4 news. I don't know what Infidel is going to talk about with his emergency notes.
Emergency topics.
Yeah, emergency topics. There we go, not notes. But so yeah, obviously I'm playing this video for you guys. You guys can see the new Xbox there. We got the new Kinect. Everything. First of all, everything has impressed me. I know I've been saying for the past few episodes that I didn't have my hopes up for the Xbox and all that, and I'm personally impressed by it. I'm definitely gonna get it. I already signed up for pre-order notice through Amazon and things like that. So yeah, we'll just.
The first thing I have to say about the new Xbox is I'm disappointed that they are trying to revive the Kinect, which didn't necessarily succeed.
Yeah, well, you're right in the sense that even back when I was working at Best Buy already about 2 years ago, we were selling the Kinect a good amount, but they do these monthly numbers for like the past 26 months or something that Xbox has been the #1 selling console per month. But they don't talk about how many Kinects they've sold. They've mentioned it once or twice. Probably the last time they mentioned it was maybe last year's E3 or something. But yeah, I had talked about that. I didn't care. I still don't care to have the Kinect. Now it's also going to ship, what you see here, which is the Xbox with the Kinect and a single wireless controller. That's what you're going to get with every new Xbox One. There is no other option announced right now. You can't get the Kinect separately. You can't get the Xbox by itself. So everyone's going to have a Kinect now. And that's something that it's still an issue as far as people that don't have space to play with the Kinect. This new one supposedly has a wider range and it won't cut off your head if you're a lot closer or you're like 6 feet tall. And then it could fit up to 6 people now, but you're wondering if that's because they have, opened, I guess, like you could say the lens of the Kinect, so you could stand a lot closer and you don't need, 6 or 8 feet of room. Because the Kinect is going to come with it, and I still don't have space for it. I don't know, I don't know if you would have space for it in your house or something like that, but
No, I have no space, that's for sure. I'm extremely disappointed that it seems to be so crucial for the new Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, I've literally seen people, I'm remembering now on YouTube, I've run into random videos and these guys literally have their Kinect, like on the corner of their room, and then they're like standing on the sofa to play it. Like, I'm not even kidding. Just so they could be in like the picture of whatever game they're playing, they're playing Forza or something like that. And they'll just be trying to make some space just to be able to use it. But we'll go into the specs of all that now. I just wanted to go through these articles. They have their little comments. A lot of people, reading this caption about how it looks like a TiVo. A lot of people are saying that they don't like the look of the new Xbox because it's obviously very boxy. But
Xbox?
Yeah. I think it's a given, first of all. Like you just pointed out, the name itself. If that has nothing to do with it, if you think that the Xbox could change its design, or you like the Xbox Slim right now, or whatever it's called, I mean, my argument is, they need to make it some type of shape that'll accommodate the new power. Um, they just need to accommodate the size of the box for obviously the things that they're going to put in it. It is a big upgrade compared to the Xbox that exists right now. And I feel like, if anything, if there's extra space in there, when people get their hands on it and they decide to open it up, and they're like, oh my god, look at this extra space. They could have totally made like some nice curve here or something. Like, I don't know what people want it to look like, but obviously, all the ventilation stuff has to be considered also.
To be completely honest, I don't care what it looks like.
Yeah, I really, like, it just, I just get confused when people make stupid comments like that.
Yeah.
Again, going into the controller, they haven't said if it's rechargeable, but it does have a completely different battery pack. It has more of a flat back to it. It still opens, but no one knows if it's still going to take batteries, if it's going to be a battery pack that you take out and put it somewhere to charge, and things like that. They still haven't talked too much about, they have talked about the controller, but they haven't shown the battery compartment.
Yeah. On the controller, I really don't think they needed to change the controller at all. I think I believe the controller was perfectly fine for the Xbox 360, and they could have just carried it through with maybe a little bit of a change on the thumbsticks to make it easier to aim on shooters.
Yeah, I want to point something out that obviously we're doing the live stream here and we want to try and respond to people's comments in the chat. Baba Luke is in here and he pointed out, which is my immediate reception actually about the design of the Xbox One. It looks like any standard, set-top box, I guess, that you have in any home. And his comment says, it needs to be classy and not stand out. It's the only way an entertainment system will fit into a higher-end home. They want their Xboxes showing and not hid behind cabinets, etc. So at the same time, I guess like us, Infidel, we either don't care or there are people that want it to look, classy like that. It does have a nice design. It has, that half gloss, half matte type of look to it. And I think, you could easily put that in a high-end entertainment system, in some rich family home, and people won't even think it's a video game console, because people are still going to think of it like that don't actually play video games, but it's definitely an entertainment console at this point with this new one especially.
So that brings up another point that you just said, that people think of it as a video game console when it's not and stuff like that. I also hate that they are trying to sell it like it's an entertainment center in one and not a gaming console.
Do you really?
I do hate that. I'm not a big fan of trying to stuff everything in one thing. I mean, the fact that they are trying to do so many other things means it's taking away from the actual video game portion.
Right. Yeah, I've seen comments like that. Now, my opinion about that is, first of all, I want to ask you, the current, you don't have your Xbox anymore. We know that you sold it and everything, and you got your PC, but when you had your Xbox 360, you obviously had, the recent updates and everything since they updated it last fall. And that added a lot of entertainment apps and everything. You didn't necessarily use them, that's not the question. But when they did that, did you consider the console, the Xbox 360 specifically, as an entertainment console already at that point, or no?
No, because they did originally design it just to be a gaming console, and that stuff came later. Right. I would have preferred that they had improved upon the gaming aspect, but at least they improved on something.
Right. Yeah, because to me, since they did that big update, and I do use Netflix and HBO Go and all that, I think it's incredible, and I've called it an entertainment console since that point. In my own right, like I tell people about it and all that. There was one point, I'm sure I've mentioned it before in maybe one podcast. I did reach a point that I was thinking about selling my Xbox, and I got very close to it, and then I realized, okay, so I sell my Xbox, let's say I make $250 off of it. I need to find something else to replace, the stuff that entertains me that it has, apart from the video games, and I couldn't find anything, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, they have all these smart TVs. They have, you know, these DVR players now, smart DVD players, all these things that Samsung and Panasonic make and Sony, and they still don't come anywhere close to, you know, first of all, being updated as frequently as any video game console these days, and then just working. You know, because there's always these issues with them. You know, I have a couple of Samsung smart DVD players, and they don't work at all most of the time.
Yeah. Do you have a Blu-ray?
Yes, I do have Blu-ray.
Okay, well, that takes out something I was gonna say. I was gonna say if you don't have a Blu-ray or a gaming console, you can't use Netflix essentially.
Right.
So that would be an issue for you. But since you have a Blu-ray, you can just have Netflix through there, so that completely eliminates my point.
Right. Now I want to point something out here. I guess we can move on into the Kinect stuff. You know, as far as what they've upgraded and all that. Even though, of course, me and you haven't really used the Kinect. I actually have a Kinect, and again, I don't have space to set it up, so it's been sitting in my closet since day one that I got it with my Xbox. But oh, that's a lie. Actually, my mistake. I've actually used a Kinect before, and I do enjoy it. It definitely works up a sweat. But you know, honestly, I used it for about 2 or 3 days maximum. It wasn't my own. It was just at a friend's house messing around with it. But I wanted to point out the new Kinect, like I said, is going to have a wider aperture. It's going to capture a lot more. It's a lot more advanced. As you can see here, I pause this video. It'll capture your skeleton, orientation, muscle, and force now. It could even measure your heart rate and your emotions. So clearly, if you have a Kinect currently, you will realize that that's a lot more things than you've ever been able to do.
Yes, but I'd like to point out that when they first announced the original Kinect, they were saying all this stuff too.
That is true.
And
yeah,
it
you're
really
right.
didn't turn out to be what they said it would be.
Right. It never ended up working well because I'm telling you, also in these few days that I had tried out the Kinect, you know, this was sometime this year, in around December and January. You know, it wasn't consecutive days that I was messing around with it, and I was playing it with some of these games that are still popular today. You know, these Kinect adventure games or the sports games, and you know, the games just weren't doing what they claimed they were doing, you know, as far as accuracy. Or I even tried one of these fitness games made by Ubisoft. I don't remember the name right now. And you know, yeah, it made you break a sweat and stuff, but half of the time you were punching like off of the screen, or you could tell it was measuring your body like very in a wide range. So you know, you would punch somewhere and it'll still count it, and you could be punching towards the opposite side of the room.
Yeah.
So we have to see, you know, with this new Kinect. Look here, they're showing they have 5 people at once playing a game, or I guess they're doing the testing for it. So that's pretty crazy. But again, you know, look at the amount of space that they have in that room. I mean, who sets up their house like that? You know, just a bunch of sofas in a rectangular shape and no table in the center.
It'd be extremely difficult for me because I live in an apartment.
Right, exactly. And once again, we have a picture of the Kinect here for those of you that will be watching this on YouTube, obviously.
Or the stream.
Yeah, or the live stream right now. Remember, this is the first time we're doing this whole live stream stuff. Now, I don't know if you understand most of this jargon, Infidel, because I know you're just about buying stuff and enjoying it. But I wanted to talk about the specs a little bit of the Xbox, because of course that's some stuff that they actually left out, honestly, from the conference.
Well, I guess I'll just take a nap. You can wake me up when you're done.
Yeah. So, just a quick run through. This is one article that mentions, this is confirmed stuff, of course, but I don't know why Microsoft didn't say it at the conference themselves. They did have an architecture panel after, hosted by Major Nelson, and they talked more about what the actual Xbox has inside. So, as an 8-core CPU, it only has a little bit more power than the current Xbox 360. 8 gigabytes of RAM. It's going to come with a 500 gigabyte hard drive. There is a note somewhere that Microsoft confirmed that hard drive space, saying that the operating system will take up a significant amount of space. So, like most people usually think, they think they're going to get that full 500 gigabytes. That's not the case. You'll probably have, you know, maximum 460, 480. I would say, at least. I mean, if they're taking up more than that, that's crazy. Most exciting thing, which is what I wanted in the new Xbox, which is what immediately got my attention as far as interest in buying it is going to have a Blu-ray player, so that's
Yes,
great.
that is something I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Do you want
Uh,
to say anything about it before I continue?
yes. Well, I was very surprised. Well, I wasn't very surprised because I didn't really care about anything back when Xbox 360 and PS3 came out. But I'm very surprised that Xbox 360 didn't upgrade to a Blu-ray player in its later versions.
Right. Yeah, that was
Uh,
something. You're right. That was something everyone expected when they, for whatever reason, decided to make this Xbox 360 Slim, and that's what people figured at least they were going to change in the device. But it turns out, it was the exact same console.
yeah. And another thing, I'm very happy that the Xbox One is going to have a Blu-ray player because I don't have a Blu-ray.
Right.
So I'd be basically getting two things that I need in one. And
Exactly.
a quick note when I'm looking at the picture of the Xbox, if you want to scroll up and take a look at it,
Okay.
is it doesn't look like it has a disc tray. I think it's one of those just you insert it and it pops
Right.
it back
I
out.
like to call it. I mean, I don't know if that's the appropriate name, but it's kind of like a sleeve insert. So you just
Yeah.
pop in the disc, and then you have to hit an eject button to push it out. And obviously, you have to be a lot more careful with those type of disk drives, I guess, because I've seen a lot of cases, especially when I was working in Best Buy, I would work on car installations, and it kind of works the same thing in a car. You push the disc into the slot and stuff, and you don't know how many people would go in there with CD changer radios, and it's because they already had a full 5 CDs in there, and then they literally tried sticking another one in there, and they pushed it in and everything, so they would break the entire system, and they'd have CDs stuck in there, and that's
Yeah.
something that will always it's something that could happen with these type of disc trays, so people have to be careful with that if they
You
already
gotta
have a game
remember,
inside.
gotta remember that there's one in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
unless they
but
want to
apparently,
play Call of Duty Battlefield 4, then I guess they could do that.
Call of Battlefield Duty 4.
Yeah. We'll see what type of main menu screen and stuff you'll get with that.
Yeah.
But it's gonna have 802.11n Wi-Fi, which is the part where Infidel will be
Yeah, I'm
sleeping.
like, what? I have
And
no idea.
yeah, there is a lot more technical stuff to that, but you know what? I'll actually leave it out about that whole Wi-Fi direct thing and what it means. Basically, they'll be using 3 different Wi-Fi signals to connect the controller and stuff, apparently. But I didn't read too much on the article. It's gonna
Oh,
have
I heard.
USB 3.0. Wow. I guess we can make that the title of the podcast. US 3.0. So that's another big thing. USB 3.0 is a growing thing as far as speed goes. If you have a USB 3.0 flash drive or external hard drive, it's going to be even quicker to watch movies or transfer files with your Xbox and those type of hardware things. And then it's going to have an HDMI in and out port, and that is because it could be due to 2 things which have been unconfirmed. That will be for the live television integration that the Xbox One has, if you've seen
Yes.
the conference video. And I actually found this picture showing all the ports on the back. So this is the HDMI in and this is the HDMI out, if you follow my mouse pointer. And that could either be for the live TV, which they've also said will apparently require an adapter, but I'll go into that later. And if it's not for that at all, it might be to use your Xbox as an actual, live streaming system. And I say that because the Xbox one of the features it has is constant video recording of your gameplay while you're playing
No
a game.
way.
It doesn't require any extra effort. It'll just record, a span of time. So it'll record the past 30 minutes. If you keep playing, it's going to be moving that time space to whatever you add onto your gameplay session, I guess.
Awesome.
So yeah, did you know about that, by the way, Infidel? The
I did
whole
not.
yeah DVR thing. It's actually in one of these pages, right? So we could go into that here. Some of the highlights that they mentioned in the conference. The conference was very brief, to be honest. you don't necessarily need to watch it. It's not something like an E3 conference or anything like that. They kept a lot of information out of it. I don't know why. It seems like they just wanted to announce the Xbox, go through 3 or 4 games. They didn't even give any sneak previews of what they'll show at E3. They just said, oh, obviously at E3 we'll have the Xbox as well. But, so they have, as some of the highlights, is Smart Match, which is some type of new matchmaking system. I don't know how that will affect games because, as far as I know, that depends on the developer how they want to matchmake people, you know, like Call of Duty, for example, or Battlefield and all that with servers. Then you have the game DVR, which is what I just mentioned. So again, it's a dedicated game DVR capture and access your magic moments, all saved to the cloud. So you could edit, share. They mentioned something, I think it was in the conference, about this. Very briefly, they were saying that, you know, like this bullet point says here, the expanded achievements. So apparently when you get an achievement, it's going to make some type of marking, it seems, on your DVR editing screen. So you'll know right when you got your achievement, and you could kind of like cut out that part and share it with your friends and, you know, use it as bragging rights or whatever. You just show off how you got the achievement.
And on achievements, they did say that they're going to go a little bit more in depth with achievements.
Right.
And it's not just going to be, hey, you did this in a game, you got this gamer score. It's going to have a bit more of a reward. I'm kind of hesitating to say that.
Yeah, people have wanted for a long time to get some type of use out of gamer score, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And of course, they're clarifying some things in this article. These articles are actually direct from Xbox, so of course your gamer score and your achievements will carry over from Xbox 360. That's a given. I don't know why anyone would have any doubts about that, really, because you're using the same gamer tag. And another thing they kind of like tried bragging about a lot in the conference was the whole cloud system with the new Xbox, and that the games will be quote unquote living. You know, as far as updates will be downloading in the background, I guess, you know, kind of like how a PC works. You turn it on and it's going to update, you know, your operating system updates happen right away in the background, and then they'll tell you if you need to restart. But by living games, apparently they mean that they're referring to the fact that they could add achievements and downloadable content, but it makes no sense because you still have to pay for it and all that. So they're making it seem like you're going to buy a game and it's going to be any different than it is today, where you have to pay extra for it, and then on top of that, it's developer based. It's not like, you know, they're not going to make a game every year.
They're also kind of fueling the fire of people being afraid that it's going to be an always online console where you can't do anything without it.
Right. I was going to go into that now because we have a frequently asked questions that they've kind of thrown together, and it does mention that. Not accurately, because there's also some other websites claiming other things. Now, I want to go back into the live stream chat here. Bob was asking if we mentioned that the Xbox and the PS4 will not be backwards compatible, which they won't be, of course. We talked about that in the last episode. There was that rumor of some type of adapter that you'll have to buy. It will supposedly cost $100, and that'll let you play Xbox 360 games on the new Xbox.
Which is kind of useless with the Xbox. English, because the Xbox 360 will probably be about $100 itself by then.
Right. I mean, it still doesn't make sense. There's no indication of that yet. Like I said, I seem to have found this picture of the back of the Xbox, and not a lot of websites have caught onto it yet to try and figure out what the ports are, because I still have 2 or 3 that I can't figure out there. And maybe one of those will be a port, you know, that Microsoft has come up with, and it'll be for those adapters and stuff. But I don't know. Which, by the way, I wanted to point out, a lot of articles immediately after the conference were also claiming that the Xbox will only be Wi-Fi connected, and that is not true, because this is clearly an Ethernet port here. Of course, this link will be in the show notes, and you could actually download the image and zoom in as much as you want, and you'll see that that's an Ethernet port. So you still will be able to hardline connect your Xbox if you don't want to have any interference, or you just don't have Wi-Fi in your house, I guess.
Which is really stupid, because everyone should.
Yeah, I mean, I do hardline everything if I can. I have my computer connected through hardline, and it could be Wi-Fi, but obviously you'll get the best speeds like that.
Really? Well,
I just wanna give a shout out to Trigger Happy Sam, who just joined the live stream. He says he's watching the podcast on a farm.
and said he's too important to be a part of it.
Yeah, we tried getting him as our guest on top of the live stream. That would have been a epic. What was it they called it? I forgot the word now. Something with an M.
Addition? I don't know.
Monumental, something like that.
Monumental.
Okay, so you mentioned the whole internet connection issue. Before the Xbox One was announced, of course, yesterday, there were a lot of rumors going around, people going back and forth about, always having to keep it turned on or something like that, or connected to the internet and things like that. So, like I said, they have this frequently asked questions thing thrown together, and they clearly say no, it does not always have to be connected to the internet. But
So it's
Xbox
not
One,
the Sin City style.
right? But what they're saying by that is it doesn't always have to be signed in to the internet, and it doesn't always have to be turned on. But Xbox One does require a connection to the internet.
What?
Yeah. And this answer is still very confusing because I've read through all these frequently asked questions, and then at the same time there are still other websites saying that they've spoken to some Microsoft reps or whatever, and apparently these reps have said, "Oh no, you don't need to have it on, but you need to connect to the internet through the Xbox at least every 24 hours," which is another that just makes no sense to me.
Yeah, that's a little stupid.
I don't know why that would be required, and what'll happen if you don't do that. Apparently, if it is true, like if you go on vacation, what are you gonna do? You're gonna get banned from Xbox or something if you don't sign in every 24 hours.
Well, I think the point is to play a single player game, because that's what people do when they're not online. They play single player campaigns or something.
Right, and that's the main concern for a lot of people. I even saw, I want to say it was maybe IGN or GameSpot, and they're having an interview with some Microsoft person, and they're saying, "Oh, so how does the whole online thing work?" And they said, that thing that you need to be connected every 24 hours, and it's like, okay, but what if I don't wanna, I want to get an Xbox to play single player games only, which a lot of people do, Skyrim, all these other games, what's gonna happen in that case? But they haven't been very clear about it still.
I don't believe that 24-hour thing. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And then, of course, we have a question here. What the benefit of connecting to the cloud? They make it seem like the cloud system will be much more robust as what it is right now on the Xbox 360, as far as just being able to upload your save games. It seems like in Xbox One, you'll literally be able to upload. It's gonna be like a massive virtual hard drive, so to speak, and you'll be able to upload your game installs, movies. That's what it seems like you'll be able to do.
Yeah.
Let's see what other. Of course, Xbox One will launch in markets around the world later this year. It's not just going to be, U.S. only this year, and then I guess 6 months later, the rest of the world. That won't happen.
I'm gonna go ahead and rant about something we discussed earlier, Alec.
Go ahead.
I hate the guy that was on stage when they said when it was coming out. I absolutely hate it. I wanted to punch him in the face. You know why? Because he made a big deal about this. He said, "We're pleased to announce that the new Xbox is coming out on," and then dramatic pause, and then said later next year.
They could have just added the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire,
it's like
dramatic
one of those
thing.
really stupid reality shows where right before something interesting happens, they go to a commercial.
Yeah, that's true.
And then they repeat the same dramatic rise every 5 minutes. It'll be, "What's in this room?" commercial. And then when they come back, "What's in this room?" And they carry it on for another 10 minutes before they actually show it.
I guess only could have been worse, what you're talking about in the conference, if he would have said "on" and then it goes to a trailer. Of the Xbox once again and everything, and then at the end of the trailer instead they added the date and it says "coming soon" or later this year. It's oh, seriously?
It would have been great if it cut to commercial.
But yeah, I actually saw the conference on live TV, and I was surprised that it didn't have any commercials. You know, I watched it on Spike TV because they had it available on there, and then on your Xbox, of course.
I
But
watched it live on the website.
oh, really? I didn't even know they were doing that because all they kept mentioning on Twitter was just the Xbox and Spike TV stuff.
No, I watched it live on the Xbox website.
That's nice. I didn't know they had that there. That's really good to know. Um, yeah, just finishing up this frequently asked questions. This is something uh, that surprised me because I hadn't even heard about this rumors or anything like that. Which is the question is, will Xbox One allow players to trade in, purchase, and play pre-owned games? The answer is we are designing Xbox One to enable customers to trade in and resell games. We'll have more details on this later.
That sounds great.
Yeah. Which actually,
Like,
I did hear people complaining about this because immediately after the conference, you know, I hit up a couple of live streams while I was waiting for the architecture panel to start up, and people were making these comments about having to pay a fee to play a used game. I'm assuming like they're referring to, you know, Blockbuster rentals, if that even exists, or like GameFly and Redbox. That they would apparently have to, you know, you put the game in and have to pay a fee to play the game, which didn't make sense to me. And I guess this is somewhat the answer to that question by Microsoft.
yeah.
Of course, your Xbox Gold membership continues. Just running through this. Why require Connect with every Xbox One? You know, that's I guess it's a given. Just because if you watch the Xbox Live conference, you'll be able to do a lot of things with Connect as far as easily managing your windows, so to speak, on your Xbox One. Do I need to have a specific cable or satellite TV provider? Things like that are going to be announced later on, of course. Talking about that TV stuff, I want to go into that because Trigger Happy Sam is someone that is always around when we're doing the podcast or live streams and things like that. And of course, he lives in Europe. He's one of our people from across the pond. And he has mentioned that apparently the whole TV thing that was announced at the conference, I guess the articles he's run into, this is why I stick to official news also. You know, I don't read any of these other websites. Is that it's going to be US only, at least for the beginning, or hopefully it won't be permanent like that. And apparently people in Europe, as soon as they get some type of TV support on their Xboxes, will have to buy an adapter on top of that. So going back to the adapter, you know, for possible Xbox 360 compatibility for the games, there might be an adapter also for TV stuff for people in other countries. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, that's so difficult.
Yeah, it just gets so complicated from there. But yeah. So that's apparently going on with the European peoples of the nation.
European peoples of the nation.
Yeah.
And on that note, let's have a commercial break.
What, you tired already?
Maybe.
Okay. Again, Papa's pointing out some really good stuff that we should mention. We don't have a cost for the Xbox One. There has been no rumors, no indication by Microsoft in the conference. I guess they don't know how much it'll cost because they also don't know a release date yet. But
I'm gonna guess upwards of $300, $350.
That's what I'm thinking. Honestly, I think the price range of this, you're getting the Kinect and everything. That's fine. I understand that. I think it should cost at least $300 to $400. So someone actually told me yesterday. I was speaking to them in person about it. They said that they apparently saw that it's gonna be $625.
No, I really doubt that.
Yeah. And
they wouldn't get any sales if they did that. That's way too much.
Yeah. Baba Luke is telling us, 300 to 500. I think people expect something in that range. You can't pay. I don't know. I know they've announced a PS4 and all that, and I don't even know how much that costs because I will never have an interest in a PlayStation again. But that's it's just something. I think okay, $500 maximum is probably the limit. In my case, at least, I wouldn't pay more for that. I don't think.
This brings up another great point. Why isn't Bappa on the podcast?
I don't know. I guess we'll talk to him about that for the next episode. Another thing I wanted to point out, this is another topic that Infidel doesn't care for because he already mentioned he's not into sports, of course.
Whoa.
But they did announce a lot of things in the conference, like FIFA Ultimate Team will have some exclusive features for Xbox One only, and they did announce a massive partnership. This is massive because I mean, especially for us, we live in the U.S. and we may not be particularly NFL fans, but a lot more people are probably going to be getting the Xbox One just because of this. And it's that they have a partnership with NFL now, and ESPN is going to get a huge update as well, for that matter, because there's going to be this huge like fantasy sports integration. So you could literally be watching a basketball game on ESPN or watching an NFL game, and as soon as your player from your team scores a point or something, it's going to pop in right there on the right side of the screen with the new snap feature, and it'll show leaderboards, it'll show how many points your players have on your team and things like that, which was insane because I've never participated in fantasy sports, but I know how complicated they can get, and to be able to do that on the fly on an entertainment console is pretty crazy.
Yeah, you're right. I don't care about sports at all. But when I watched that, it gave me an amazing idea. Instead of fantasy football, how about fantasy gaming?
How so?
Multiple professional teams compete in a shooter such as Battlefield, and you basically do that as a fantasy football team, where you pick your guys and whoever wins the round or whatever, all that kind of stuff, and you can it'd be a good little mini game for people that follow professional gaming.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. That is a good idea. I mean, that could also be easily integrated. Let's say you're playing the new Call of Duty game and you're actually able to spectate matches, for example, and then they could use that integration. I don't know how difficult it would be to do to snap in on the side, the actual scoreboard and stuff like that, so you don't have to be opening it separately, unless, of course, it could also be integrated into the game already, I guess, at that point. And you won't have to have it as a separate, thing there, separate window, I guess. Now, what did you think about the, I'm sure this is not final, the new Xbox dashboard? You think anything about it?
I don't know. I think it's very similar to the current one.
Right, okay. I think it's
I think it looks good. I don't think it's a bad idea, if that's your question.
Right.
But I also don't think this is going to be what it's actually going to look like. I think it's just a placeholder.
Right. That's the first thing I think. Now, I want to go into some things I noticed on it. Again, this, I'm with you there. I don't think this is any indication of what it's going to look like. Again, supposedly, another thing they didn't even point out in the conference or mention, but it has been confirmed, separately by Microsoft, is that there is going to be an update this summer for the Xbox, and it's going to have a new dashboard features or look. There's no specifics on that, but I don't think this is what it's going to look like at all. But if it were, it doesn't seem like they're going to have, the whole wallpaper support anymore. This might just be a default wallpaper, but you never know. I've also noticed there's no advertisements, so hopefully they've finally realized that at least people that are paying for Xbox Live Gold memberships shouldn't have advertisements on there.
Yeah, but keep in mind this is a reveal of an Xbox. There's not going to be people that are already paying to have advertisements.
Right, and they're not going to want to show that, and people be like, oh my god, look at all the advertisements they have on that thing.
I mean, Netflix, Internet Explorer, HBO Go, and Skype, those are advertisements right there.
Oh no, but see, that bottom row is actually your recent...
They're usable, but they're advertisements.
Oh, but you know what I mean though, right? Like the actual ads on the dashboard?
Yeah, I know what you mean. But I'm saying, as far as they're going to go with advertisements right now, it's going to be showing the fact that they have those things on the Xbox.
Right. Yeah,
They're not gonna have ads at this point, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you mean. Like instead, they put those placeholders, so to speak. And yeah, this is another screenshot of it. Of course, we still have Xbox Video, Xbox Music, because that's been changing as the whole like new generation of Microsoft stuff, at least. Okay, let's get into some of the games that were revealed. We have Forza Motorsport 5. I know Infidel's not a racing fan, but we do have Trigger Happy Sam who actually mentioned this to me today about Forza 5. He's even contemplating getting Forza 4 after watching this, which is good because I mean he's not the only person in the world who has seen this trailer and realized this game still exists. It's a heck of a game for anyone that's into, you know, racing and car tuning and all that.
I do have something to say about this trailer.
Okay.
That there are some scenes in this that look amazing.
Yeah.
Like they have a close up on a tire, which is right now, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if that's how it's actually going to look or if this is just something they put in as a trailer. But these close-ups on the car look amazing.
Yep. I mean, it's very see, this is one game that first of all, you know, the reason this game looks so great is because they take their time. This is one developer, you know, Turn 10, that they take their time with their Forza games. You know, at the same time, the people that work on Gran Turismo on PlayStation as well, you know, these two are heavy hitters on the respective consoles. They're always competing with each other, and they take their time on these games. You know, Forza 1 was still revolutionary on the original Xbox, and they made Forza 2. Still on the original Xbox, they came out with Forza 3, and they've all been these massive improvements as far as visuals, features, things like that. You know, and they're just incredible games for anyone that likes a simulation racer. This is the only game really that has been on the top of the podium, so to speak, in the Xbox 360 and Xbox world altogether. Just like Gran Turismo is the game to play if you're into that on PlayStation. But so enough with that. Forza 5 is definitely a purchase for me. Forza Motorsport 5 rather.
One more thing to throw in there is during that trailer, during the live stream, I was really hoping there was going to be a crash.
Right, I was expecting that because that's actually all the reveal trailers for previous Forza games, at least Forza 3 and Forza 4, they crash to show off. Exactly.
To show how good it looks, yeah.
And I was expecting that. You're absolutely right. And I mean, now that I think about it, if anything, I hope they're saving something like that for E3, which by the way,
the
E3
second half of the reveal is going to be there.
Yeah, which by the way, E3 is already taking place in about 18 days. You know, give or take some hours. So
some hours.
Yeah, like 10 hours or add subtract 10 whatever. And you know, with Xbox One being there at the same time, hopefully all these games show a lot more, and we'll get into that. Let's go into Call of Duty Ghost.
Oh god.
Which I have to enter a birthday here. Okay, I'll enter my actual birthday. You guys know how old I am now. Let's I'll let you go first about this, Infidel. Because if anything, I'm you know, you've kind of played Call of Duty a lot more than I have.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, I can't actively talk about the trailer because I'm watching the stream, so I'm delayed. But it looks better because they're taking this chance to improve the engine. That I like because they've had pretty much the same engine since World at War.
Right, and they've been lying about it.
And they've been lying about it. They've changed. They've had a little tweaks.
Yeah.
And they actually pointed out during the reveal the difference between Call of Duty Ghosts and Modern Warfare 3.
Right.
In terms of graphics, and I didn't realize how bad Modern Warfare 3 looked.
Right.
And Modern Warfare 3 was the last Call of Duty I played before switching over to Battlefield for a while. and I thought Battlefield looked amazing.
Yeah.
But
Now,
anyway, on the trailer, they've already shown the stealth helicopters,
right.
and I'm not sure if you paid attention to what the story behind this is supposed to be, but if you want to hear it, I'll tell you.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, it sounded like you had something to say, so I was drifting into it.
No, mine's gonna be actually a big thing that I wanted to point out in general about what Infinity Ward did at the conference itself. But what's the story behind this? Because yeah, you're right. I wasn't paying attention at all.
Yeah, most people weren't paying attention, but the story is basically, it's some catastrophic event has happened in the United States and it's crumbling. This follows the former elite special ops unit, the Ghosts, or that's what they are now. They are the ghosts of what the United States military used to be, and basically they're fighting for a lost country. America's going downhill. It's been 10 years since whatever happened, and that's basically all we know. I guess it was like earthquakes or something, I don't know.
Right. I lied because I actually was paying attention to the story. Now that I remember, I mean, are you done with your feedback? Because I wanted to get into this massive thing. Like, it's actually a huge compliment towards Infinity Ward that I have, and I wanted to go into the details about that.
That dogs look amazing.
Okay, that's your final comment.
That's my final comment.
Okay, now I watched. First of all, I guess I forgot what his name was, who he is. I'm assuming
It's a cute little puppy.
He was like the head of he is the head of Infinity Ward rather. A little history about it. Last year Infinity Ward basically fell apart. A lot of employees now are working for another company that they put together, whatever. I didn't think Infinity Ward was going to make another Call of Duty game at that point. Obviously they're making Ghosts. So this guy comes on stage. First thing he does is he talks about Call of Duty Ghosts, the mass trailer that they revealed, which was a live action one, so it didn't show any gameplay. They showed, let me see if I can remember the correct order. They showed this trailer, I believe, first.
User in your channel timed out.
Oh, he lost internet connection. Awesome. So anyway, they showed this trailer first in the conference, and then the next thing they did is, they cut back into the conference stage, and you would assume this guy would get off of the stage, but he continues by saying that, like Infidel just pointed out, that Modern Warfare 3 was a huge, I guess, non-improvement from Modern Warfare 2 and things like that, because they were saying that they were making a new engine and using a new engine, and they really weren't with Modern Warfare 3 coming from Modern Warfare 2. But so obviously in Call of Duty Ghosts they point out, like Infidel said, that they're using a completely new engine, and they basically provided proof for it. And then I think the last thing he did, it goes back to the stage, and then what was the last thing that he showed off? I can't remember right now. After he showed like the comparison thing, there was like another trailer or something like that, right? Oh, I know what it was now. It was they showed actual gameplay, like in-game engine type of stuff of the game is what they did. You lost connection there, Infidel?
Yeah. I'm not in a good mood anymore. So,
okay.
Move along.
That's fine. We could just pick it up. So yeah, what I wanted to get to is that Infinity Ward did it 100% correctly as compared to what EA and DICE have done so far with Battlefield 4. I mean, they came onto the stage in the reveal yesterday with Call of Duty Ghosts, and they threw out everything. They even compared their own games compared to the previous one. And what have they done with Battlefield 4? They have these CGI trailers, the tank and the mystery boat and things like that, and then they've done the single player thing, and the game doesn't look that much better. They showed the same vehicles. I just wanted to compliment Infinity Ward for that, because it got my attention. I'm gonna get Call of Duty Ghosts because they did all that and they proved that it's a completely new game.
Yeah.
Now,
and on the topic of Battlefield 4 and what they're doing, I'm glad that they're not showing too much, because if they show things, then they have to stick with those things.
right. And at the same time, you reminded me they could be doing that from a competitive standpoint. They don't want to, maybe they already had insider sources or something knowing that Call of Duty was going to do this yesterday. So, they've been preparing for something bigger in E3.
User in your channel timed out.
Which we will get to. But I wanted to go into this funny picture real quick, which is from the Call of Duty Ghost trailer. And there seems to be some type of issue with the lighting system in the new engine because, yeah, as you can see in this picture, I got this off of Reddit. There's what seems to be the sun in one spot of the picture, and then you have some sun shafts coming in from another completely opposite direction.
User joined your channel.
So yeah, I thought that was a funny picture to look at that I got off of Reddit, pointing out the apparent lighting issues on that picture from the trailer. And then I don't know, Infidel, did you think anything about the Quantum Break trailer? I don't even know what I watched when they were showing that.
Yeah, no idea.
Yeah, it was a very weird I guess this actually has to do with the living games type of thing that they were saying, is they're going to have a lot of games that deal with apparently live action TV type cinematics, and then you'll go into the gameplay aspect of the game where you actually play. So it's kind of like you're watching a show and obviously interacting with it.
I thought they were kind of referring to what Defiance is doing and making a TV show that follows along with the game and a game that follows along with a TV show.
No, that's what this is though. It's not like Defiance at all. That's my point. So I guess, yeah, like I said, that's what they meant by the living games. They just didn't describe it properly in that article. So here you obviously saw the live action, TV show type of thing, and now we're looking at a gameplay aspect of it. And what happens here is basically the woman asks the girl what kind of power she has, and I guess she produces this kind of vision, or maybe it's her actually controlling the world. It was a very weird trailer. I don't understand this game yet. Then they cut to some type of military guy, staring at a bunch of rubble and killing some guys.
Very descriptive.
Yeah, it was just very weird to me that they're showing a girl at one point, and then see you have these quick cutscenes, Monarch security. I mean, I didn't understand it. But apparently this game is a new developer probably. I didn't pay attention to that either, and they're gonna be a release title on the Xbox One. And
yeah.
Okay, so finally we got to Battlefield 4. No more Xbox talk.
Oh yay, Battlefield 4. So I'm gonna open this up by talking about the new box art that I recently saw about 10 minutes ago. No, a little bit longer than that, but where there was recently an article released telling a little bit more about Battlefield 4, and on it there is some box art that Alec is probably pulling up.
Yeah, I just want to point out real quick, this is not the box art necessarily, it's the box art for the first expansion.
Is it?
Yeah, as you can see there, it says Battlefield 4 China Rising.
Oh, I didn't read it. I thought that was just some kind of tagline.
Let me go through the details real quick, because it'll help you, and you can still, I mean, either way you have things to point out. I know that because you're like our local military specialist. But
yeah.
So what this article says, this was actually posted 23 hours ago. I stumbled upon this last night, surprisingly, because I didn't think this would be available, and I didn't see it being talked about anywhere. So of course Battlefield 4 would be available later this year, and they immediately confirmed that it will be available for quote-unquote early adopters of Xbox One and for PlayStation 4 as well later this year. So I don't know if that's... Hopefully the game is going to be available the same day as Xbox One comes out. That would be amazing, because I'll wait, even if it's, a couple of weeks later or something like that, because I prefer to obviously get it on the next-gen console. The other thing is, Battlefield 4 will be available October 29th for Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and PC simultaneously. So we
Wait,
have
October 29th, you said?
yeah, we have a confirmed release date.
Whoa!
And yeah, it's weird because they posted this article that has so much information in it, and then the title isn't very eye-catching. It just
Isn't
says
that the exact same day that Battlefield 3 came out?
Probably. Yeah, they've been doing.
No, I think Battlefield 3 came out the 27th.
Yeah, or I would say the 30th. I mean, something like that. They have some obsession with the last week of October, clearly.
Because it's right before Call of Duty releases.
Oh, that is true. I forgot about that. Yeah, it always is, practically.
Good time of year.
Can you imagine if Infinity War now is like, haha, you didn't do anything.
September.
You didn't do anything for the Xbox conference like we did, and you might be being all secretive. But guess what? Our game comes out the 28th.
Yeah. Now they can't change it.
Yeah.
So Call of Duty's gonna sneak in there like, oh yeah.
So we won the battle, and we may win the war.
We may win the war. I doubt
Yeah.
that.
So once again, DICE. This isn't really a revelation, but oh well, yeah, it is because they're talking about the expansion. I'm reading this first sentence. The expansion that will come with all pre-orders is called Battlefield 4 China Rising.
Racist.
Of course, it'll be part of the premium membership. Like current Battlefield 3 premium members. It will be available at no additional cost because, of course, it's a pre-order bonus. And all it says is players will fight for dominance across the vast and majestic Chinese mainland in 4 massive maps using all new vehicles and high-tech military equipment. And once again, furthermore, players that pre-order Battlefield 4 Digital Deluxe, available exclusively on Origin, will also secure their access to exclusive Battlefield 4 multiplayer beta. They're kind of lying to you there. For those of you guys that are listening, please remember that if you have a premium membership on Battlefield 3 at the moment, on that respective platform that you have it on, you will be able to play the beta as well. So, honestly, don't pay $10 extra just to get beta access, please. Because I will never play with you.
Unless you don't have premium.
Well, yeah. I guess in that case, it would be worth it. Yeah, that makes sense, actually.
Okay,
But,
Alec, can I have a link to that site? Pretend I didn't say that, people.
But yeah, I guess that makes sense, the whole paying $10 extra in that case if you don't have premium membership. But still, what I was getting at is they're kind of lying to you because they're not giving you all the information at once, which they should be doing. Just like even though Medal of Honor has been confirmed to be pretty much abandoned, you if you still keep that game, or you have that game only, I guess, instead of Battlefield 3, you'll still be able to play the beta with it as well.
Now, am I allowed to go into my in-depth,
one final thing is that the Battlefield 4 multiplayer demo will be at E3 2013 on Monday, June 10th, exactly at 1 p.m. Pacific time, and that is 4 p.m. Eastern. So
You're
yeah,
not going to E3, are you?
I wish. I try to go there every year, through some type of giveaways or contests and things like that, but it's a media thing only, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, now you can do your box art analysis.
Alright. Yes, that's exactly the word I was looking for. I was so confused. First off, we can see the gigantic plane above the guy that's running, above the Battlefield 4 banner.
Right.
And what I take that to be could be multiple things. It could either be a very large plane,
Clearly.
or it could be, yes, or another thing it could be is it could actually just be a small drone that's a lot lower than it seems to be.
Okay, but
if on the note that it could be a plane, I believe it is some kind of cargo aircraft, not a bomber.
wait, so you're telling me you don't recognize that plane? Am I gonna have to fire you?
I'm not. It's not a B-2 bomber, if that's what you think. Or
Okay.
B-2. Yeah.
Now, okay, my question is, you didn't exactly say it would be a regular fighter jet. Is that the case here? It doesn't look like one?
No, I believe it's either a very large cargo plane or or our eyes are confusing us and it's just a drone.
Okay, makes sense. I understand that, and I just want to point out the other two flying objects back here are, of course, the identical planes. So there's nothing else as far as air vehicles, I guess, in this image.
Yes. The reason I think it may be a drone is because if you look at the ones that are farther away, it kind of resembles a Reaper.
Right. This one right here, particularly the one on the right side.
Yes.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Next is they have not abandoned lens flares and red-orange burning things. So we will get what we want.
Plenty of orange goodness in our backgrounds and other related things.
Okay, and actually what I was going to talk about is the soldier.
Okay.
First off, I don't believe that soldier has anything to do with the actual character models in the game, other than a campaign character.
Right.
Which he is. That I believe that's the guy that cut his leg off or arm off, whatever happened.
Okay.
You know your favorite song.
Right. Turn around.
Yeah, turn around. Okay. I actually want to talk about the rifles he has.
Right. I'm looking at that right now. I'm staring very closely at my computer monitor.
The first one that's in his hand. I believe that is obviously an M4 variant, but it's not a standard M4A1 by the looks of it.
Right.
It has a bit of a longer barrel, and it's not an M16, so it could be a HK416, which is currently used by the Navy SEALs and other elite units. It has a standard suppressor, it's got some rail guards, stuff like that. I believe it's a flashlight down there, foregrip that he's not holding on to.
Looks like he has some type. That's definitely not a standard mag either.
That's not a standard mag. That is a Magpul P mag.
Right. And of course, the stock is very clearly some type of modified, custom looking stock.
The stock is a crane stock, which hopefully you know what that is because I can't explain it.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, it's a crane stock. It's adjustable, and what it has on it is a little pouch to keep either extra ammo or a cleaning kit in it.
No snacks, maybe some Twinkies.
No.
They don't fit in there.
And we cannot really see the sights. It may only have iron sights. I can't tell.
Right. Now, what do you think? Hopefully, you would recognize that gun in the back. I think it might even be a gun that's in Battlefield 3 at the moment.
It is.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm right.
What that is? That is the M39.
Oh, I was right. Yes.
Or if you actually know what the gun is called, it's an M14 EMR.
Right. Okay.
Or otherwise known as a DMR.
And of course, Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay, I'll go. That's the standard stock, I want to say, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that is the standard stock. It has an extremely long suppressor on it.
Right.
But we can't really see the rest of the gun, but I can definitely tell you it's an M14.
Okay. Now, I'm guessing we're done with the soldier, so we can go into that tank. You probably know what it is.
The tank is a T-90, which is the exact same tank that is in Battlefield 3.
Right.
For the Russian team, of course.
Right.
So I don't think that has changed at all.
Okay, now moving on to ground level, what kind of dirt do you think that is? I'm kidding.
I know you meant that as a joke, but I swear to you that I can come up with something.
Yeah, it seems like some type of.
He's running through a puddle, and you can see kind of like mountain-shaped things in the back.
Yeah.
I think he's in China.
Oh, that's a very good assumption. Because sometimes they've done these expansion packs, and we're not exactly in the area that they say in the title, especially when it says China Rising. But I want to go back to the soldier. Of course, you could take this with a grain of salt. Again, these covers are usually very exaggerated, as we've seen in the Battlefield 3 ones for those expansions and stuff.
Are you gonna say how good he looks?
No. I would like to say that DICE is being sneaky about things and kind of giving us hints, just like we can't really figure out if the airplane is a massive plane or just a drone. There are multiple attachments on the guy's weapon.
Yes.
Meaning more than 3 and more than, being categorized like, okay, you could put this suppressor, but you can't put this stock, like they do in Battlefield
what?
3.
I think I just came up with what you might be thinking about.
Yeah.
You're probably thinking about the advanced gun customization that is in Medal of Honor Warfighter.
Right.
But I disagree.
You don't think that's gonna happen?
I don't think they're gonna do that. I wish they would.
Right.
But I really doubt they would do it because it is in another title.
Right. Well, a title that's been abandoned, which
Yeah.
going back into Call of Duty real quick.
They also talked about character.
Yeah, and that
customization.
third trailer that I mentioned, which is the one that they showed in-game engine and they talked about features they added. They literally took stuff out of Medal of Honor, which is another thing that, even though it might be cheap to do in my opinion, usually, but Medal of Honor has been confirmed dead. So at this point, it's great that Call of Duty realized that and they're capitalizing on it and they're putting those things immediately into the game, which it needs it. It's needed it for a long time. Now the issue becomes how that will work in multiplayer, because it worked perfectly fine in Medal of Honor in my opinion, but Call of Duty has always been a very fast-paced game unless they slow it down, and it plays more like Medal of Honor. Your characters have more bulk to them and things like that. But it's gonna be in there. They're gonna have leaning. There's new equipment. Like Infidel pointed out, there's gonna be a dog. Is gonna be one of your squad mates in single player, not multiplayer. And the game looks great. I mean, it's definitely a day one buy for me. So far, I definitely want to get Call of Duty and Battlefield 4 on the next Xbox.
So, Alec.
Yes.
Back to the analysis. I don't think the attachments on the weapon in the box art have anything to do with the actual attachments. I'll show you why.
Okay.
Pull that up on your screen.
Okay. Oh. Okay, so we have the Battlefield 3 wallpapers.
Yep. And you can clearly see on that rifle.
Yeah. First thing I clearly see is this is almost the identical gun. As
Not
far as
necessarily.
the flashlight is, well, from what I see, exactly the same. And obviously that foregrip, because this is a oh man, I hope I'm right. That foregrip is attached with that flashlight. It's all one unit, and I want to say it's from Magpul.
Magpul does make a variant like that, but they're all over the place.
Yeah, if not, it's definitely. I mean, a lot of these companies also make different things like that. But anyway, let's not get into.
I can easily point out how many attachments are on here. There is a IR laser on the top rail.
Right.
Foregrip flashlight on the bottom rail. Suppressor. Holographic EOTech holographic sight. All kinds of stuff like that. The only thing that's really missing is the extended barrel and RIS rail system.
Right.
That's on the Battlefield 4 box art. The mag and the stock are also different.
Yeah, this gun also has since you were pointing out the attachments, those are backup sights. Those aren't regular sights. So yeah, definitely we got ripped off in Battlefield 3 is what we're getting at.
Yep.
But so yeah, good thing to point out. I mean, that's what I assumed. I wasn't gonna get my hopes up about it. I've never noticed it in other things like that, like in Battlefield 3. We never really tried to analyze the covers like that.
I'd also like to point out that the first comment on that article is "I want dinosaurs," and it has 625 hoo-ahs.
Yeah, that
That's
dinosaur
really
stuff.
weird to say.
That dinosaur stuff is still a mystery. I mean, they don't even mess with it. Like they don't put it in a trailer just for the heck of it to like bother people. Because some, I don't know specifically what trailers or companies have done that, but some companies, they do things like that. They'll do like some kind of joke at the end, like they'll put a meme or something at the end of a trailer or something.
There's actually a free game that's dinosaurs versus humans.
Really?
Yep. I think it's called Dino D-Day or something.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I was actually going to go into something when I was talking about the Call of Duty stuff. Oh no, the games I was gonna buy. Another thing, Ubisoft, along with the conference yesterday, companies are gonna start announcing games that are gonna be available with Xbox One now that it's, of course, confirmed and announced and everything. So Ubisoft says they're gonna have 6 launch titles within the first year. Now, Watch Dogs is confirmed to be a launch title for the Xbox. Again, launch title meaning within the first year of the console existing. The other one is going to be Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
You just put. I'd like to point out you just gave a little bit of false information. They said 14 launch titles, but 6 of them would be Xbox exclusive.
Wait, are you talking about what they said in the conference or from Ubisoft?
Yeah. Conference.
Yeah, no, this is unrelated to that.
Oh.
Yeah, this is from Ubisoft directly. Yeah, all they said from Ubisoft is just 6 titles within the first year, and like I said, Black Flag is confirmed. And then the other 4 rumored ones are that Rayman game. I don't know why they would make that next gen. Beyond Good and Evil, which is possible. I know a lot of people play that.
Yeah, I don't know why they would make that next gen when it doesn't even go well on.
Yeah, and they like make it on Nintendo DS and everything. Like that's just a game that gets thrown around all over the place. Okay, so we have 4. There apparently, again, this is rumored, is going to be another Assassin's Creed 3. I mean, not 3. It's codenamed Assassin's Creed 2014, apparently. And then the other game, I don't know if I remember hearing about this game or even seeing like a very old preview of it, very basic, but apparently that last game is Rainbow Six Patriots. So I don't know if I remember hearing about that game. I don't know if they've done some type of preview trailer for it a while ago and they've been working on it, but that's going to be supposedly another first year Xbox One title.
I might get a few gasps for this, but I've never once played a Rainbow Six game.
Wow, that is a pretty big gasp coming from you. Because yeah, I mean, well, I've played the Rainbow Six games and I've never come to like them because it was just too like they were trying to do Call of Duty and I want to say Medal of Honor at the same time, even though they're still very similar games, but it didn't work out, for me at least. And I know a lot of people still even play Rainbow Six Vegas 2 on PC, and they still buy it, they're selling them like crazy. But I never got into it just because it I don't know if it was too fast-paced or they're trying to do too many things at once, but I never got into the games. I played probably like 4 or 5 different Rainbow Six games.
Yeah.
But that is surprising. I mean, after we finish with the podcast, I'm going to do a little research on that Rainbow Six Patriots because I really want to say I've seen something about that game. If not, it's clearly just a huge rumor. If there hasn't...
We're over an hour now, so we should start wrapping up soon.
Yeah. I think this podcast is already like an hour and 20 minutes, which is pretty long. It's one of our longest ones.
Hour and 10.
Hour and 10? We gotta start timing it because I lose track.
Well, we started at 120, right?
Yeah.
233 now.
Yeah. Oh well, I was counting the start of the stream and all that.
No. You don't count that.
But yeah, look, we didn't need to use your emergency. What was it called? Topics.
Topics, yeah.
Yeah,
I do have an announcement for the end though.
Oh,
get your hopes up.
Stop. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, this is the end?
Oh, I hope I know what your announcement is.
You don't, trust me.
Okay, go ahead then.
My announcement is I will be adding a bit of airsoft content to my YouTube channel.
Alright, nice.
From June on.
Nice. I'm guessing that's usually the season that you play up there?
Not necessarily, but
okay.
I've been taking a bit of a break from airsoft.
Yeah,
but I am going to be recording a lot, and I'll be putting it on there alongside War Thunder videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, I want to point out Infidel has been submitting a lot of videos. He's picking it up with the YouTube stuff. I'm always convincing him that he can make money like that, so I'm trying to encourage him to always upload stuff. Now, I thought your announcement was going to be that I started playing War Thunder.
Yeah, well, I thought I'd leave that one out.
Yeah. You know,
I'm sure everyone that follows you knows that because you've been streaming it.
yeah. And Infidel's, you know, for all of you that have been listening, of course, he's been trying to motivate me for a long time to play it. But what got me was that little sneak peek trailer, Battlefield 4 style, so to speak, that they did of the ground fleet that they're going to be adding into the game. So I saw that and I just pictured, you know, the same amount of combat and everything as there is in the air in a single game, and I decided to download War Thunder, and I love it. It's a very...
Oh yeah. And I hate you so much because for a month I'm like, yeah, you should play War Thunder. It's a really good game. You'll love it. It's like, oh, I don't want to do that. I got too many games. And now you're like, oh my god, this game is so awesome. Oh
Yep, that's exactly what I've been saying.
Why wasn't I playing this before? Why didn't you tell me about this?
Yep, that's exactly what I said.
So much.
But it's a great game. Now that I'm playing it, I would like to point out that anyone that hasn't tried it, you definitely need to. It's not very
so much.
It's not very computer resource intensive, so you should be able to play, you know, on low settings, things like that. And
God, I hate you.
I definitely recommend it. So yeah, we'll close it up there with Infidel crying as I talk about War Thunder after 4 months of his effort.
Yeah. Well, don't worry. Alex still sucks at the game.
Alright, so we'll catch you guys next time. We hope to have a next episode sometime soon. We are, I know we mentioned it last podcast, just to close up, we are working on that list. We are going to do it of things that Battlefield 4 should have.
Yep.
And hopefully from there we could start doing it for other games. You know, maybe even Arma 3 now that I think about it. And of course, Grand Theft Auto is one that I really want to do. So, I don't know, maybe we'll have a podcast before E3 or sometime around E3.
Maybe even during E3.
Things like that, yeah. I mean, it's picking it up. We gotta... We're getting into summer now, too, and just like last year, you know, we started the podcast back in June or July, and we were doing it every week at first, and then we did bi-weekly and things like that, so we'll probably pick it up now in summer.
I believe episode 16 is going to be our 1-year anniversary.
Yeah, we could do that, too. We'll think about it. We'll see. But we'll catch you guys next time. Alright, see you.
See ya.
Turn around.
We're still live.
Every day. I know I'm trying to find the...